WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
You good?
Sing, Christal, sing.
In the morning.
Miss
Oh, that's what you're
Thames.
waiting for. That's what you're waiting for.
Standing ovation. Grammy Award winner. Woo!
You ever listen to her?
Full of nonsense.
her
Yes, I
songs,
am.
Right? Thames has a way of pronouncing certain words. I can't remember which word it is, but I had to listen to one of her popular songs again. It's just so peculiar. I know, despite the accent, it's very peculiar. But big up to our local Afrobeats artists as well. Our local artists who sing outside of the scope of soca and calypso.
And reggae to some extent.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I had always appreciated with Marlon Rudett too, because he has like a kind of pop alternative kind of song to him. And it was different and really good.
Hi, Marlon. Yeah. And then there's like, I would not include, that's why I didn't say reggae, because I was like, restricting it to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because
but remember we have like
in the Caribbean.
No, like a Boza and Yafutu.
Right.
That's what I'm
So
thinking of.
right. So I would consider them outside of Vinci music. If you understand.
Oh,
what
you
I'm
mean in
saying.
terms of what persons generally gravitate towards singing by way of career-ish?
Yeah, but I find for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I would say soca and calypso. Jamaica, I would say reggae. Anybody else who sings reggae, I feel like it's on a minority, and it's not like the country's main.
I'm trying to.
If you don't understand.
I know, I understand what you're saying, but as you say that, I'm trying to think. Wasn't there one out of Union Island? I can't remember his name. Was it Cushion Dyer? You remember? What? Okay, so here we are, right? If he's not from Union, I apologize. But I don't know why it is that I'm thinking that he's from he was from down. That's somebody could correct me if I'm wrong.
But there are quite a number of artists who sing outside of the scope of soca and reggae. So big up yourselves this morning.
Come on.
Some who sing dancehall, some reggae, some pop, some Afrobeats. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing some genres there. But anyways, clearly we're in a singing mood. 7:49 is the time. Roleza and yours truly, Christal, on WEFM 99.9 for this lovely Friday morning, the 22nd day of March, 2023. Thank you for joining us on the live at WEFM 993.
Today somebody on staff birthday. I hope I remember when the person comes in. She ain't reach yet, so don't say it.
Happy birthday to you.
I said, don't even say it, but you're singing it.
I didn't call no name, no words. Anyways, congratulations are in order. Congratulations are in order. By the way, Ari gone gallivanting. He's coming back on Monday. Somebody had asked in the previous live, okay. Right? He coming back from his gallivanting. A few days.
Coming back for this chair. That's the one thing I got to tell you. Coming back for this chair.
On Monday, okay? All right, somebody actually says we also have two bands playing jazz fusion, such as Jazz Tropical Project. My band who has Abigail's show at Beachcombers this Sun. Oh, yeah, advertising. Smart.
But that's, I think Dexter Rose is part of a band, a jazz type band.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about, right?
Oh, it's him?
Jazz Tropical Project, yeah.
Morning.
Hey. Chanel and Bomani, and there is Ultimate 5. Quite a number of bands in this video now, though.
And that's the thing. I know that's not even our topic of discussion, but just to say something else too, you know, I think that's one of the things that we end up missing in a sense, live bands, hearing live bands performing. A lot of it is just DJ music. And maybe it's a case of the market as well, the target audience, because I think maybe to some extent the persons who appreciate live bands a bit more are more mature persons, you know. But yeah, it's just something that seems to be missing in a sense, or not as appreciated.
I can tell you though, it's swinging back. So it's on the uptick? Nah, for I don't want to quantify in terms of years, but when I looked at the market last year, I noticed that the bands that existed were more active. I think Silk put off an entire concert. That's one. They normally perform. I think there's another band that performs at a local restaurant and bar.
We never tell anybody.
There's Ecstasy. Of course, Touch is back and performing. There are more bands. The names. There's a new band. I think it's predominantly police officers. That's out now. I can't remember the name because they're new. They're new.
Okay. This is interesting.
They're new. I think Darren Oliver is a part of that band too. So the market for live band, I think it has always been there, but I want to believe that to cut costs, because the cost of hiring a band to perform is higher than hiring a DJ.
True.
And the band would only perform so many songs. And the DJ could just spit 100 songs in 20 minutes,
Yep.
We need more positive productions. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about the typo. Meant to say Ecstasy and Silk. Right, okay. So the people who end up appreciating the bands would end up being the mature folks, because the shows that they go to will be more expensive.
And they could afford.
Actually,
no, I'm not even going to say they could afford, because the prices for some things that I see young people attending, I want to know how they could afford. But that's a different topic.
Yeah, very much so. Also, you start me up, this thing. Also, I think it's what title. That's why I'm putting on there. Also, I think it's what a Fed. There are all the folks who were young at one time, naturally, who grew up with live bands.
Right.
And that's what they were fed.
And it's a bit more nostalgic for them in a sense as well too. Right.
Exactly. So you just have to the school bands showcase that happens annually, even except for one a year or so because of COVID. They now have like young people involved in bands. That's how I got to know about some other artists who sing outside of soca songs. You're right. That has helped the industry a lot, and it will continue to help it because they're going to continue doing it.
Even the orchestra, the what is it? Is it Tux?
Tux violin.
Yeah, the full violin orchestra. Man, when I heard of the concept of it, I've never gone to any of the performances as yet. But when I heard of the concept of it, just to be able to hire them out, let's say for weddings, etc., like you have a full orchestra playing. I mean, that is something that I remember when I was in, maybe what was it, in Form 5 or somewhere around there. A friend of mine took up playing the violin, and I was like, violin? It just seems so foreign to me because it's like TV thing, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
It was like a real TV thing. And I was like, violin of all things, because we tend to hear of children or students maybe wanting to play steel pan or maybe wanting to beat the drums. What else? I mean, we did recorders in school, but recorders, we've never really had
learned to breathe properly with recorders.
We've never had, let's say, a full recorder band. I've never heard of a recorder band.
Your class was the band.
No matter how many students would pass through the school learning to play that recorder, we've never had a recorder band. So
that's like foundational courses in university.
Yes, what we're doing with this after, it's like, what's this about? But but
it's a foundation, man. It was a foundation,
and I think it was maybe to help to learn to read music. Even piano. Learning it. Well, I started to learn to play the piano. I think my instructor got frustrated with me, and I just stopped. But I always had a love or a liking for it. But she used to she was real mean.
Just poking at your
fingers. She was like, tapping. I was like, what you doing? Like really pulling me up as a big woman. But but I'm happy to see, and as we were talking about the sports and academics, even being involved in a band, in a musical band, also lends to widen the learning of a student or the learning of a child, because to me it's a more holistic learning that they have, not just about the academics, so yeah.
Well,
we changing
it. Clearly the topic changed. But yes, Now, as we're talking about it, and I told you that the National School Band Showcase will continue, they're actually having one the 6th of April, Saturday.
Okay.
Dubbed Free Up. All right. And naturally, Free Up means you're getting in for free too. That's not what it means. At the cruise ship berth lawn. And of course, this is coming from the Ministry of Tourism, Sustainable Development, Civil Aviation.
They have the certain time there? Since you're giving the information, they have the time
1
there?
o'clock.
Okay.
I'll send you my bill. Our bill, sorry. I'm just playing. But it's a really good initiative. I always appreciate the behind the scenes work to get our youths interested in the creative arts, whether it's steel pan or learning music, point blank, whatever it is. So looking forward to a very fruitful event and the future for like the music and entertainment industry.
And knowing that they can make it. And I think to me it always
back.
has to come back to not necessarily just pushing students or pushing children in the traditional avenues for employment, right? You can make it as a creative person. You can make it as a musician. Why are you giving me this face?
No, I'm smiling.
Right?
I'll tell you why I'm smiling at the end. Just remind me.
All right.
Just remind me.
To know that they can make it. And when I think of it, like I always have to look back at Skinny, right? In the leap of faith that he took at such a young age to say that I am going to do this as a full-time business. Like he became the business unto himself, right? Even in the case of Rodney, like, so we would have known Rodney for playing steel pan. And yes, he would have, I think early in his career, he's the one messaging your day. But anyway, I think early in his career, if I'm not mistaken, him and Rajon Batiste, they started sailing and I think Rajon still sails. But they were playing pan. When I think of people like Aretha Shallow, right? She sails, but she's involved in the creative industry on the cruise ship, doing performances, like live band performances, etc. So when I think about it, it's not just about a person doing it on the side or as a little hobby, but you can actually make an income from it.
You can.
Why you smile?
I smiled because it's just the way we just accidentally say something and it forms a whole conversation. That's why I smile. Dexter Rose on the live would love to join in on the conversation. So I typed the WhatsApp number. So send us a message and let's connect and do something formally, right? And have another fruitful conversation like this one. It is possible, right? But the thing is, right? You need support. As much as it can be, but intrinsic, and you can be self-motivated, you do need support. It could be mother, father, nenen, friend, whosoever, somebody on the outside.
I hate to hear nenen, but go ahead.
Sorry.
I hate to hear that one.
But you need support from somebody because for the older generation who are not as open-minded as other folks, they're going to push back and they're not going to believe in you. I think even down to big artists like Coffee, one of her first songs alluded to her mother not really believing in her and wondering why she always singing and rapping and whatever she was doing. Not in a condescending way, but I don't want to say rapping when it's not rapping, right? If you don't have that from the person like who is around you, who's raising you, you gotta get it from somebody else, because you have to have somebody, as much as it's has to come from inside, somebody on the outside who believes in you could really make a big difference.
No, I totally get what you're saying. And this is why I think it frustrates me a lot of the times when parents, they are the first point in terms of your support system, right? And even to, let's say, go along a non-academic line or career, or even incorporating, let's say, home ec, right? Or I don't want to call it needlework. What do you call it? Clothing and textiles. It's sticking on me, man. It's sticking on me.
Fashion.
No, I'm talking about the subject in school, right?
Needlework was the subject.
At CXC level, it's called clothing and textiles. All right. But even in terms of doing those things at the CXC level, there are some parents who are not in agreement with it because to them it's not valued and it's not important. Whereas I would say that having to learn the skill, you never know when this skill would come in handy to either become your primary source of income or to supplement whatever other income that you have, So it's looking at everything, not just in the, I think,
outside the white collar ones,
right? And maybe outside of the eyes of your traditional, the eyes of the traditional parents.
Right. 2 points, right? You notice grammar school doing poultry now and agriculture. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Big up.
Congrats. And I was gonna make the point with the rural schools with this one, but I'll leave it for another day. The I don't want to say tongue schools, but the schools that focus mostly on academics.
The tongue schools is okay.
The tongue schools, they are now, I think, maybe seeing the light, but they are diversifying what they're offering. I wish when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to do some of the things they're doing now. It might have been different. I believe that it doesn't matter like what you choose. There's like a handbook, a principle, certain things you have to apply to it. Discipline, hard work, good manners and good behavior and good attitude. And it'll get you anywhere. My last point, right? Because 8:02 and we had to go. If a parent can encourage a child to go and steal, you can encourage a child to go and run or learn a skill, learn to play the pan, learn to do something constructive.
And that, my friends, was the point from Mommy Christal.
Yes. Like, at this time, unfortunately, I'm leaving. I want to wish you guys a happy and wonderful weekend. I'm going to
Gallivant.
Not really Gallivant, but I'm going to
I'm joking.
The Leeward schools. And I chuckled this morning because the first and third place in, the second and third place for the secondary meals, and the first and third, those are the schools that we're going to now.
Okay.
So I can pick them up one time. Take care. Ciao.
So Christal is leaving me, but we are going to be, I'm going to be joined by another